Thank you for being here. Welcome to your yoga mat. Today we are going to do a practice that is around some low back love. Okay, some low back love. And as we practice today, what I want us to kind of step into or release into is this idea centering around this groundlessness of our own being. And Pema Chodron, who writes many amazing books, this is one of my favorites, Living Beautifully with Uncertainty and Change. And she talks about if we don't find some way to make friends with groundlessness and the ever changing energy of life, then we'll always be struggling to find stability in an ever shifting world. And that to me truly is kind of what we are doing all the time. Is our life is this experiment, and we are constantly trying to grapple and find control in this groundlessness of being. And how do we stay in that space? And so one of her techniques or tips is to work with our sense perceptions. So right now there's a sense, I've got somebody mowing behind me, and you can use your senses. And so we might play with this a little bit. Today, if you have a strap or a tie or something strappy-like would be great. A block would also be helpful. And we're going to start laying down on the back. So make sure your props are like a hand's distance reach away. You don't have to go fetching them once you get started. So I want you to come onto your back. Let your feet go as wide as your mat and knock your knees in. If it's comfortable, you could take a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly, or even just cactus your arms. And right now in your environment, I want you just to find maybe something that you can hear. Maybe it's just the sound of my voice, but maybe you hear people in another room. And allow those sounds without trying to analyze or think about what are they saying and all of that, but just observing your world through the sense of sound in this moment. And now bring one hand to the heart and feel that sense of touch. And take a moment and set an intention if there's an intention you would like to set. There could be an area of your life that feels very groundless right now, where you can't seem to get control. Maybe acknowledging that space, whatever that might be. And then let your hands come down by your sides for a moment and bring your feet in a little closer. Bring both arms by your hips. And feeling that sense of the earth underneath your feet. Maybe wiggle your toes just for a moment against the earth or against your mat, the carpet, whatever you might be practicing on. And then draw your legs in towards your chest. And I want you to have one hand so that it's holding kind of just below your knee, right on the top of the shin. And keep your left leg there. Just start to make some circles with just your right leg. And you're going to find right away how your body doesn't want to really let go and let that hand just guide the leg. You're going to feel, oh no, the leg is like, I got this, I got this. Go the other way, but do your best to let your leg be as limp in your hand, letting your hand facilitate the movement as best you can. Just a nice, gentle massage on the right side of the sacrum. Good. And now keep the right knee in. Do the same thing on the left side. Making circles. what I find is that I notice that my legs almost won't let me open as far as I know they could because I can feel them trying to hold on. Go the other way. Now we all have a way that we tend to, try to adapt to the groundlessness of being. I tend to try to control things by cleaning things. Bring your legs back to center. And now do both legs. So I'm going to start moving my legs away, but if you want to go the other direction, it doesn't matter. We'll do both. So drawing them in toward you, out to the sides, away, and forward. And then start to go the other way. And just notice that balance of your legs trying to hold on maybe, and your arms trying to help. It's like asking for help. It's like you want the help, but you don't really want to admit you need the help. That's what's happening with our legs right now. Good. Now keep the right leg in. Extend your left leg long. Heel to the floor, toes to the sky. And let your right leg move away from you a little bit so your arms go more straight. And then as you exhale, draw your right knee. Some of you, it's going to be more to the chest, and some of you will be more towards the armpit. Now, if you like, hook your right elbow around that right leg and start to open that right knee out to the right. And your right hand, just let it be comfortable if you want to let it hang or hold your calf. Left hand maybe comes onto the thigh. Good. And then bring that leg back to center. Now we're going to grab our strap. Place the strap around the ball of your right foot. Extend your right leg up towards the sky. Strap in each hand. And I want you to bend your right leg just a little bit. Move your outer right hip away from you. Very good. And then re-extend your right leg up. Push through all four corners of your right foot. Pull down on with your right hand a little bit more and push up through your big toe mound, your heel on the right side of the foot. Feel the stability of your back resting against the earth. Take the strap into your left hand. You're going to keep the right side of your sacrum down. We're just going to take our right hand right to your hip crease. So the heel of your hand is touching your hip crease and your forefingers are pointing up. And you're only going to bring the leg over a little bit. We want to keep the low back, the right side of the sacrum down. And you can use your hand to push your thigh away from you and at the same time tug the strap with your left hand to bring it in a little closer to you. Let's bring the leg back up. Now I'm going to grab my block and I'm going to bring it so it kind of catches my outer right thigh here. I'm going to put the strap in our right hand and we're going to let the leg open out to the right and the block will catch my leg so I can keep as best I can the left side of my sacrum down. If you don't need the block, you can take it out. But for most people, the left side of that sacrum and your left butt cheek totally come up off the ground. So I want that to stay down as best you can. If you need a blanket under your head, if your chin is jutting up and it's very hard for you to keep the chin and forehead level, I want you to grab a blanket or roll your mat up a little bit. Continue to let the outer right thigh feel that pressure of the block and really surrender the flesh of the outer leg into the block. Let your inner thigh muscles both lengthen and release simultaneously. And then bring the leg up. Take the strap off. Bend your left knee, figure 4. Thread your right arm between your legs and the left hand around the outside. And draw your left thigh towards your chest. And now I want you to paint a little tiny circle with that left knee, like you are painting on the ceiling. And just make a little circle either in counterclockwise or clockwise directions. And then go the other way. And maybe notice that as your circle starts to go to the left and there's weight that goes a little more onto the left side, you might feel a little more stretch in that outer right hip. So just get curious. These poses are an experiment. When someone does something and we react in our habitual way, oh, look at that. Look at how that just happens like that. And then see if you can find some stillness. And Rumi said, the quieter we get, the more we can hear. We've become so accustomed to being so distracted and so occupied by something all of the time that just being with ourself, alone with ourself, without our phones, without our computers, without even people, that groundlessness of being can be very new territory. Now we're going to switch sides, and our left leg is already in toward our chest. So you're going to slowly slide that right leg off, but you're going to let go of the clasp, and we're going to grab the front of the shin as your right leg releases to the floor. I want you to let your leg, your shin, push it away from you till your arms straighten. And then exhale, either bending it towards your chest or off to the left here, towards your left shoulder armpit area. You can stay here or hook your left elbow around that front of that shin. Let that left knee come over to the left, maybe even a little more, right hand to right thigh. And then we grab the strap, bring the leg to center. Grab your strap, put the strap around the ball of your left foot and extend your left leg up towards the sky. Strap in each hand. Bend your left knee just a little bit and try to get your pelvis more neutral. Move the outer left hip away from you. And then extend, push up into the ball of that foot. Allow your foot to flex here. Let's put our strap in our right hand. Take your left hand, the heel of your hand, right at your left hip crease. Just like that. Very good. And then bring the leg, again, it's just a few inches. Your right toes, the one that's on the ground, that's going to stay on the ground, and those toes are going to stay up to the sky as your leg comes across. And I'd like you to stop a hair before you feel like even the left side of your sacrum is going to lift, just until you notice some sensation. You have something to work with, to keep your mind present, to keep your breath, using that as your anchor. You get to decide how much you're pushing into that thigh and how much you're pulling against that foot with the strap. And then bring the leg up. We're going to move our block, if you want to use it, over right up at the top, right towards your hip. In fact, mine's touching the hip. Strap into your left hand, and our right arm will open out to the right as our left leg goes out to the left. Moving the flesh of your outer left hip away from you. Sometimes it's these practices, right, where we're going slower. This is not a strength-based class at all. This is a juicy stretching class. And it's also a class where I feel like more comes up by far than those classes where we're moving quickly. Let's bring the leg back up. Bend your left leg, let go of the strap, hook your left ankle above your right knee, figure 4. Right leg's going to pick up off the floor as your left hand threads between your left and right leg, and your right hand's around the outside. Flex your left foot. Bring your left ankle bone just a little outside that right leg and start to paint those small circles with your right knee. And then go the other way. Again, you get to become curious about the sensations. And then find a point where you feel stillness. Stillness in the body, but movement in your breath. Probably movement in your mind. That continuous reel of groundlessness as the mind chatters on. And we train the muscle of the mind to connect back as the breath becomes that anchor in the moment. Lovely. Let go of your right foot and set that foot to the floor. Keep that right foot on the floor and extend your left leg long and cactus your arms. Good. Now your right foot's on the floor. We're going to push into your right foot and tip your right knee. You may have to move the block out of the way. Tip your right knee to the left and really extend the tailbone towards the back of the knee, stretching that thigh. And at the same time, I want you to extend your right arm on the diagonal. So reach it back kind of like an X. And then come back to center. And do it again. Inhale. Twist. Reach your right knee to the left. Reach your right arm. And back to center. And one more time. Reach. Inhale. You can let the right shoulder come up off the ground. The back of the hand stays down though. Exhale. Come back and pause. Right foot is on the earth. And then let's switch. Left foot slides in, right leg extends long. Push into that left foot, extend your left arm. It's going towards that back corner, back left corner. Left knee extends, scoop the tailbone, wrap that left shoulder back towards the floor, and then come back to center. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Nice little massage here for that low back. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your right foot to the floor. Take a moment and pause. Both feet flat on the floor. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Pick both feet up off the floor. You might need a pillow for your head. Supta Gomukhasana, reclined cow face pose. So you're going to take your hands and hold either the outer edges of your feet or your heels. And we're just going to gently tug. This doesn't need to be a big movement. Gently tug your heels forward towards your head. And then exhale, let your heels drop down towards your hips. And do that a couple times. Inhale. Now here, your back, your butt likely will lift a bit. And then exhale. And this time as you come into it, I want you to find the point where it just feels good and you want to hold it for a few breaths. So it may be where you really pull the feet forward. It may be where the feet stay close to the hips. What's holding on right now? And what could let go? Good. Now let go of the feet. We're going to do what's called a reclined blossoming lotus. So you're going to open up the legs. Your feet are going to flex. You're going to externally rotate the legs. Your arms are going to be on the insides of your legs, and you're going to hold your kind of calf shin area. You'll use your elbows ever so gently against those inner knees, and at the same time use your hands to almost pull your shins towards you a little bit. And some of you will grab more towards the ankles. I like to let my feet actually kind of drape a little bit more away from me. Let yourself sort of explore here. It's kind of a hybrid of a happy baby. But I actually can get a greater release through the groins. And I like more of my back on the ground than pulling my feet up more. So you play around for you. And then we switch left leg on top of right leg. Hold the outer edges of your feet. Supta Gomukhasana. How can we create this relationship with the groundlessness of being in our ever-changing world? For me, it's taking time to commit every day to practices that I take time to listen, right? Not listening to anything outside of myself, but learning how to listen within myself. Or instead of trying to rely on the outer world to give me answers, I take time to ask myself the questions and get quiet. So the quieter I get, the more I can hear. And then uncross the legs. This time, bring the soles of your feet together, but keep the feet in the air. If you can wrap your hands around the outer edges of your feet, please do, and do a reclined Supta Baddha Konasana, drawing your big toes towards you. Really nice lengthener. It kind of has some feeling of Malasana squat, but Malasana for a lot of knees is harder to do. But we get this nice release in the low back here. And if you prefer a happy baby, you certainly could take that as well. Or if you liked that blossoming lotus position that we just did, you come back to that. And then slowly let go of those feet. Set your feet down to the floor. Bring your arms by your sides. Just take a moment and pause. And then allow your legs to extend out. And let's just take a brief Shavasana, turning your palms up. Letting the front of those hips open. Notice the ever-changing quality of your own breath. And with fascination and curiosity, just allow your mind to rest in the awareness, the observation of your body breathing. Begin to take your thumb and brush it across your other four fingers, noticing each finger and almost the anticipation of the thumb touching the finger before it actually happens. And let's take our arms over our head, take a big full body stretch. Now, if you're practicing in the evening, you can set the feet to the floor and go ahead and roll on your left side. If it's the day and you want a little more energy, you can roll over onto the right. And then press your body back up to an easy seat. Good. Let's take the hands together in front of our heart space. Allow your eyes to stay closed or your gaze down at the floor. May these practices help us better navigate the groundlessness of being. And may we be more open to the adventures that are before us every single day throughout our life, with the eyes of seeing each experience that we come across as an opportunity for our own growth and our own expansion. As you draw thumbs to third eye, thank you, yogis. Thank you for practicing together. Namaste. Thank you. And I just want to thank you for being here and again, being part of this group, this shared humanity. When we remember that other people feel and are going through and are just like me, and we all experience this groundlessness, it helps us all. So thank you. Enjoy your day.